Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have no makeup on right now, so I thought this would be a good time to do a tutorial. I showed this palette the other day, the Too Faced, just Peachy, and the matte palette that just came out. I did a little bit more of an intricate look with it, so I thought I would try and show you guys, kind of recreate that look here. So before we get started, let's just talk about quick the skincare that I used this morning. I am almost halfway done with this cleanser. This has been my morning cleanse for quite some time. The Shawl Deep Pore Cleanser. And this, I don't know. It is one of those cleansers where every time I use it, I'm like more and more impressed by it. And I tried to hold on to it for a very long time. You know when you have those cleansers or those products that you love so much and you just don't want to use it because you know you're going to come to an end at some point. And then you're like, I know I want to get it again, but I just don't want it to end. So this is it's like a jelly-like texture. It reminds me of like the Nude Omega Cleansing Jelly, but not as solid. It's a little more runny. So it's got this like creamy jelly texture. Oh, it makes my skin so soft, and it's a deep pore cleanser. I mean, it's not going to really, it's not like a clay cleanser or like a mud cleanser or anything like that, but it really does help to kind of give my skin a little bit more of a deeper clean. But I use it in the morning, and then I'm following it up with the Tatcha, the Essence. And I get a lot of questions about essences. So my favorite three kind of higher priced essences are the Tatcha, the SK2, and then the La Prairie. The Tatcha seems to be like the thickest, and I mean, for nothing else than the pore spout on this thing is like absolute perfection. I showed this on my Insta stories the other night. It manages to dispense just the right amount, whereas a lot of essences, you'll kind of like dump it into your hand and it's maybe put too much or you don't want to waste any. This, it's almost like at a bar when they have those little things on top of the alcohol, you know, behind the well and that sort of thing, and it like stops too much alcohol from coming out. Like that's what I think of when I do this, because when I dip it upside down, only just a small amount comes out. And then I had to kind of like dip it again, and it's absolutely perfect. Okay, I am back on the Clarins. I was using the regular double serum, but they had sent me the newest one that just came out, the Clarins double serum. So I've been adding this into my routine and replacing it with the other one. And if you're looking for a kind of standard anti-aging serum, this is absolutely perfect. And I love it because it's more designed for like any age, any skin type, whereas some certain anti-aging serums are like more mature skin types or definite like specific concerns. This, I would say that you could use it starting in your early 20s up till whenever. Like, I definitely think you'd see great benefits with this. And then I've been using the Tula Hydrating Day and Night Cream. And this is this falls in my like no muss, no fuss hydrating moisturizer category because it's very lightweight. And I think it would be great if you had oily skin, but it does like wonders for me now that my skin's a little bit drier. So, and it doesn't leave any residue. It's not too thick, not too thin. It's like no muss, no fuss. All right, skincare done. Let's move on to doing my makeup. I'm going to use the Decorte that I've talked about before. The soft cream, what is it? Yeah, the soft cream foundation. And I'm just going to kind of put a little bit on here and I'll blend it out with my beauty blender. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful formula. I think if you have more oily to combination skin, you would need a mattifying primer or powder with this. If you have dry skin, I would get this immediately. It is such a beautiful, beautiful foundation. Absolutely stunning. I'm using my wet beauty blender, and it gives, I don't know, medium coverage, sheer to medium, but can be built up. Looks like second skin. So creamy, so fresh, so radiant, but not dewy. So you're not going to be like overly shiny. It just looks like your skin has had this gorgeous facial. That's really what it looks like. And it takes down any redness. It is quite yellow based, which I tend to be a little bit more kind of pinky of an undertone, but I find that when I use foundations that are a little too pinky, I can look really orange. So I like sometimes yellow based foundations to kind of counteract that. And just flawless. Absolutely flawless. Such a beautiful, beautiful formula. And very, like, just easy to work with. Like, not a lot of needing to blend or add a little bit more here and there. And the thing is, I can still see my skin through the foundation. That's how I know something is so, so beautiful. It's definitely a pricier foundation, but I have to say, it doesn't pull in any dry patches. It's just, I don't need to fix it a lot. You know, sometimes you like have foundations you like, but you really have to like work in certain areas where you've got to fix it. And I'm like, I don't have to do that with this. All right, concealer-wise, with my Clarins Instant Concealer, still loving this. Absolutely beautiful. And it's beautiful because it is quite sheer to go on, but it really, you know, I actually like applying it with my fingers. It really helps to brighten under the eye area, but it's so hydrating that it really makes the eye area look very just not too dry, and it really doesn't emphasize any fine lines. I do wish it came in a shade lighter. This is the lightest shade in shade number 1. I wish it was a little bit lighter so that I could brighten with this, but I mean, it's perfect. It really just kind of masks any dark circles, but more than anything, it's so hydrating that it makes my under eye area look really fresh and like supple and smooth rather than, you know, accentuating any fine lines or dryness. And it lasts all day. I don't find that it creases or anything. Okay, eyeshadow primer. My e.l.f. still going strong with this. Still trying to like eke out every last bit of this eyeshadow primer because it goes so fast. For this price point, I mean, you know, I can replenish it, obviously, but it's kind of a pain that it goes so fast. Or maybe there's a ton left in there and that's how much is supposed to come out each time. Maybe you'll see me in 6 months, like still talking about how little there's left in there, but still being able to get some out. And I'm just like, maybe that's just how it is. We'll see. Okay. And then I'm gonna do my brows and then we will get started on the eye look because it's a little more involved than my typical like one shadow all over the lid, you know, easy out the door. Okay, so let me do my brows and I'll be right back. Okay, brows are done. I use the Hourglass brow tool as I always do. I moved up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing when it comes to the eyes because it is a little bit more involved. So let's get started. I am going to blend the 2 lightest shades, these 2. I kind of just, you know, blended them together on the lid. Nothing too fancy. Started off with Peach Butter, which is the slightly darker of the 2. And it's just, you know, I have to say, it's not a palette that instantly is intense pigmentation, which I at first was like, oh, I really wanted it to be a little bit more intense. But then as I was blending, it was blending so easily. I thought to myself, I'm really glad that this is not super, super intense and that I can build up to the color because that can be a little intimidating, especially if you're doing a more dramatic look. If you're doing a really simple look, like having a ton of pigmentation almost like saves you time. You can just slap it right on and it's like the full color. Here, I'm kind of like, I want it to build up because if I make a mistake or, you know, you just don't want to have to spend your entire time fixing it. And you know, I've been doing such a like a shimmery eye for the whole summer that I had forgotten how much I love a matte eye. So beautiful. And with fresh skin, it can look really, really gorgeous. All right, so just, you know, I'm blending those two on the lids. And then, all right, I'm gonna take just my MAC 217 brush. This is a pretty standard brush. And you know what? I'm gonna go, where am I gonna go? I might do Peach Tea, this little light brown color, and the Peaches and Cream. These two into the crease. Just to kind of base it out, give like a nice, subtle base to the crease. I don't like to do, you know, because I'm taking it much more like up my eye, so I don't like that to be too dark. I just kind of like to have it very subtle, and then at the end of the look, you'll barely be able to see it, but it will just help to, you know, lift the eye a bit, give it a little bit of dimension, but not be a super, super intense crease. Now, this is a lot warmer than colors that I've been wearing recently. I still love a warm palette. I've been definitely gravitating more towards like a cooler tone. But when I was playing with this palette, I was like, oh, I think I'm really liking a peach look again. So nothing too perfect. This palette does smell like it smells very peachy, like the Too Faced, you know, kind of scented collections always do. The chocolate palette and the peach obviously is going to smell like peach. So just adding a little bit into the crease there, just to give a little bit of definition. Okay, now what am I going to do? What am I going to do? All right, this is a Zoeva brush 227. I like the kind of, you know, like a dome-shaped, like a very smaller dome-shaped brush, not a complete MAC 224. What is this? 22 whatever, like the really big fluffy one. That's for a little bit later. Okay, trying to think. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go into maybe a little bit of Fresh Picked here, and maybe a little bit of Peach Tart, that dark brown. So a little bit of Fresh Picked here, and a little bit of the brown. So we're starting to get a little bit darker. Okay, and I like to just start by almost like dabbing it into the corner here. And just, I don't know, I'm doing like these little swishy motions, like circular swish motions. And just trying to give it as much of a blend as possible. I don't want to take the dark color too much up into my crease. I will in time, but that will be a little bit towards the very end, because then it'll really give more of a dramatic look than I would like. And I think, and it's like getting, sometimes the colors like, that's why I like to press the color in first to kind of deposit it and then begin to blend. Because sometimes it will just kind of like settle in one place. Even you can get like a smaller flat brush here. Sometimes that helps to deposit the color. There you go. A little bit more evenly. And then you just use your other dome-shaped brush to kind of blend. And it looks kind of like crazy, you know, right now. But I'll begin to blend it out and it'll all start to look a little bit more uniform and pretty. So I'm actually going to try this technique on this side. Just pressing the color, the darker color, into that V, into the corner of my eyes. There is little to no fallout. So that's what's great. The only thing is, like, you know, obviously this look is going to take a little bit more time, as you can see, because, you know, the pigmentation is medium, which I really like I said, because it helps me not make a mistake. It helps me, like, build stuff up. And, yeah, you can be kind of, you know, not perfect with it because yeah, it looks crazy. But then as you begin to blend, you know, and then I'll show you, you take your big brush and you're just, you know, doing these kind of like buffing motions onto the lid. And then as you know, buff it out, you kind of pull it up into the crease a little bit, begins to kind of lift the eye slightly. But if things begin to get too dark for you, you just put your brush back in any of the lighter colors and you go over the whole thing. And it instantly begins to take things down. That's always my trick. I tend to do that towards the end. But, you know, if I'm starting to do a look and I'm like, whoa, things are getting a little too dark for my taste, I'll just go back into lighter color and blend it out. Okay? So that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm just going to keep blending out this crease, and then I will be back so you can see a little bit closer to the finished look. Okay, so we're getting close to the finished look. As you can see, just darker on the corners, lighter on the lid. I take a little bit of that light color and I just kind of sweep it onto the lid, and it kind of creates like a gradient, you know, from light to dark. And like I said, you can always keep adding, but you can always use that light color to tone down anything. So I'm going to use the light color a little bit on my brow because for me, I don't like the color to go up too high. And I like it to just, you know, I'm taking the lightest color in the palette and literally just buffing out the edge of the crease. And it just makes the edge of the crease a little bit more subtle for me. And then this becomes like a lot less of a dramatic eye and much more wearable. Okay, so finishing that up, you know what, I'm gonna just take a little bit of whatever's on my beauty blender. There is no fallout, like none. Can we talk about how crazy that is? No fallout. That is some great stuff. All right, so for my lashes, you know, I'm gonna test out this primer, the Givenchy Base Mascara Perfecto. I don't know, they sent it to me and I was like, all right, I haven't used a mascara primer in a long time. So let's hope, it's like a pinkish white. And, you know, like the typical mascara, you know, primers are. And just adding that first to my lashes, and then I'll go over it with my It Cosmetics Superhero and see if I notice a difference. Okay, mascara's done. I didn't notice a huge difference with the mascara primer. I may have to try it a few more times to see if I notice a huge difference. Let's just finish off the face and I will be right back kind of with the completed look. I will show you, you know what, we'll walk through it. I know it's getting to be a little bit of a long video, but the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Bali Sands. I just want a little bit all over the face. It's so sheer and beautiful. And then we're gonna do a little bit of the Laura Mercier Baked, Matte Radiance Baked Powder in 2. This is just gonna be basing out my cheeks. It's just such a, you know what, the formula for this is just so light and smooth that you really can't like make a mistake, but it just warms up my cheeks just ever so slightly. Then for blush, Marc Jacobs Air Blush in Kinks and Kisses. Really been loving this recently. It's just such a smooth, lightweight formula. You know, air blush. That's why it's called the air blush, because it is like air going on the skin. Super easy to blend. Really beautiful color. Just, I don't want to put too much on one side. Just take my beauty blender, take some down. All right, highlighter though. Been using the Chantecaille Liquid Lumiere in the shade, I don't know, I'll find the shade and put it down there. Oh, Sheen. And oh my gosh. I do this last because it's cream, but it is absolutely stunning. It literally feels like skincare. Like, it's so hydrating and so smooth. Look at that. It is absolutely magnificent. I don't know, compared to the Marc Jacobs, that coconut one has a little bit more color to it. A little bit more pigmentation. I feel like the Marc Jacobs one is a little bit more sheer. But they're both, they both look like second skin when on the face. Just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so for the lips, I'm doing Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. And then Dior, Rouge Dior Rose Montaigne. This was a lip combo I did in the Instagram post that I got some questions on. Can't remember if I put a gloss over top, but I don't have one today. Okay, let's get up close here. Let's really get in here. Okay, so for the eyes, I don't know. I'm really liking a little bit more of a dramatic eye. I think it's kind of fun to do, and I like the lighter on the inside and the darker on the outside. I definitely think that's the way that I love to do it. You can add a liner to this look, which would look really beautiful. You could add liner underneath. For me, it's just, I could add a liner on the top, which would be fine. A little piece of hair. But liner underneath for me is, I don't always love it because the way my eyes are shaped, we've talked about this before, it smudges, it looks like a mess. And then the cheeks, look at that Chantecaille highlight. OMG, beautiful. Just such a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. Like, you want a cream highlighter? Get that one, like ASAP. Okay, and then the Dior Rose Montaigne. I've been wearing this color for a while. It's been in quite a lot of videos before. It's such a beautiful kind of peachy nude. And then the Décolleté foundation, which is absolutely stunning. Okay, so I know this was a bit of a long video, but the eyes did take a lot longer. This is a much more intricate look, but if you're looking to kind of spend a little more time on your eyes, you're interested to, oh, sorry, paper towels caught in. If you're interested to try this palette, this is a gorgeous look. There's tons more that you can do with it. The colors are very, very wearable. I mean, you'll get a ton of use out of this, I definitely say. And I'm loving the matte, you know, eye, even with a little bit of a glowy skin and a gorgeous highlighter. So hope you found this fun and helpful and a little bit of a change up from what I normally wear. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.